All right, let's look at addition first. Thank God it's a plus sign. It looks familiar to us. The example I give you is an increment again. Okay? So tell me what an increment does again. I forget. What it adds by 1. So basically, whatever's in memory, if I add 1 to it, it'll and assign it, it'll bump it by 1. Okay, but so everybody sees. This is important. I want to make sure everybody gets this. Okay? So if I have x, which has space in memory, and x has a 5, and I say x equals x plus 1, what happens? It becomes 6. Okay? Because we start at the right. X is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. And x gets the value 6. Now, what a lot of people want to do is the following. Why is that not the same as the next expression? What's the difference? Who said it? It's not stored. So this takes x, which is 5, adds 1 to it, but it's lost in space. It doesn't do anything with the 6. Does everybody see that? Okay? So what I do here is I take the x, which is 5, add 1 to it, and put it back into x, so it becomes 6. This operation is necessary to bump to increment. Okay? Now, let's look at this next example. Okay? I may not just be adding 1. I may be adding together 2 prices to get a total. I'm going to be doing addition a lot of times. Okay? Can anybody think of an example where I might use addition in a real-life application? Say that again? Yeah, so in other words, if let's say I want to say total bill equals bill plus tip. Something like that. Okay? So there's many, many applications where I would use addition. Okay? All right. So let's go back and talk about the increment again for a second, because there's kind of a cool way you can do it in C. If x equals x plus 1, there's a shortcut in C to do an increment, which is plus plus x. Is this showing up on the slide? Nope. Let me do it over here on this video. Okay. There's actually many ways to do this. So here's one. Okay? So plus plus x is the increment operation. Okay? What else is the kind of cutesy thing here? What language are we using? C++. You know, programmers are hilarious. Okay. Okay, so this is a shortcut for doing an increment. We could also do it this way. Okay? And there's one more way. X plus equals, which can be used anytime I have the same variable on the right-hand side. Whatever's clearest to you, this, of course, works. Okay? So the addition operation is just how you would think. Increments are important. We have a couple of shortcuts for doing increment in C only. Okay? Java is the same thing, but not every language has this operation. But everybody has, all languages have some way of doing addition. Question? Yeah, well, so yeah, you cannot bump by 2. If you want to bump by 2, you say x equals, that's a good question, x equals x plus 2. You could say x plus equals 2, but you can't do plus 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 or anything like that. And I'm being very bad. I'm always using x, which is, you know, goes against everything, right? We should be calling this num people or num students or something. It's just shorter to write on the board, okay? So I should be using meaningful variable names, okay? Okay, the next operator is subtraction. Yay, this looks the same, too, as what you're used to, right? We always use a minus symbol, okay? Now, when I take something down by 1, so let's say that x had a 10. If I say x equals x minus 1, what happens with this operation? 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 goes into x. Okay? Now, this operation is called a decrement, and guess what? We have a shortcut for doing it. Any ideas? Yeah. So if I want to decrement by 1, I can use minus minus either before or after the variable. And this might be useful for what? Counting down. Yep, counting down, using things. Okay, and I have an example here where I have gross pay, which is how much you earn, tax, which is how much the government takes from you, and net pay equals what? Your gross minus your tax, and there's your net pay. Everybody with me on that? So that's just a simple example of where you might do a subtraction operation.